Hello my friends and welcome to episode 1 of our Football Manager 2021 full game save. We're back, we're going with Rangers. Now I was having a look at this guy and I was tempted to regenerate his face and whatnot, and then I thought, you know what, there's a lot of Celtic people who do click on the Rangers videos. I had comments from them in the past and I thought, why not let's keep the zombie dude just to keep them happy. So we are with Rangers, we're keeping the zombie dude because of that reason, just a bit of fun really. So we're going to use this profile, suggested badges, it's not going to change. I've done a beta save with Rangers so I know that that's not going to change, so we're going to keep the exact same stats we had at Barcelona. I'm happy with that. The first thing with this series, there is no first window transfer activity. I wanted to do that for a few reasons. One, it keeps it sort of realistic. Two, all our players are going to be wanted by other clubs. Now when I ran the beta save, I ran it like this, so I know it sort of gives a bit of balance. And three, it kind of forces me to get to know the squad. Usually when I come into a team in Football Manager, I like to overhaul the squad. I like to have my own players. With this save particularly, and I've said this before, I want to have a focus on developing youth, particularly with the Brexit being so brutal this year. I think we're going to have to do that. So I'm not going to put too many rules in place, but basically just a priority of signing youth players and developing throughout the club system. So kind of one of those where you're looking to just constantly make profit. So I'm going to give myself a challenge to have a £1 billion transfer budget at some point throughout this save. That is the ultimate goal. Regardless of how we do, that is the ultimate goal, is to have a £1 billion transfer budget. Now right now, because of how things go with this game, we will have no transfer budget because of the no transfer window. So I'm going to go with the Don Game and Rangers now. Is that going to overwrite my other one? No, that is my beta save. This is one that I loaded up just to have a look at the squad, that's fine. Just making sure. So happy days. We're appointed 15.75 grand a week with our little zombie manager. Now we're going to create a nickname. We're literally just going to be the Don Gaming. And this is just for me, more than anything else, because it will come up with news articles saying Gaming or the Don. I'm happy with that, but we're going to just go, nickname it because it just makes things a bit comfortable for me. So first things first, let's have a look at players in the last year of their contract. So Defoe we're not going to renew, Davis we're not going to renew, McGregor has a 1-year extension clause, and I think it's after he plays so many games, so he will be extended regardless how we do. So really, realistically, it's down to the young players, which ones we want to keep. Now, first thing I'm going to do is Kai Kennedy. I want to have a quick look at him. Now, he's not quite as good as what he was on the beta save for me. Unfortunately, it looks like he's had a bit of done, if you like, in stats. But I still think he could be very, very good. Still fairly good advanced inverted winger. Probably play an inside forward there. I'm not going to go too much into my tactics in this video because of, realistically, I'm wanting to do a tutorial. Now I did do a tutorial on the beta about setting up your tactics and I watched it back, I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to do that again using this save. So Kai Kennedy is there, we've got young Coombs in our 4-star potential, be quite keen to get him down. Again, he's looking a lot worse than what he looked like on the beta for me. He was really close to the first team on the beta, whereas here he looks absolutely shocking. Dapo Mabudi looks similar, not quite as high potential. He's going to have a minus potential though. Anyone else really worth looking at? Ebony, I want to get him under. He's a really good young player. Nicky Hogarth, probably get him under. Anyone else? Probably not. So we'll go through all that soon. I'm not going to create the tactic just now, as I said. We will obviously accept the current vision, which is just develop youth players work within wage budgets, win the Premiership, win the Scottish Cup, reach the second knockout round of the Europa League. That's going to be a tough one, in truth, particularly when the qualifiers are over one leg. And we do have to remember that. Win the Betfred Cup, so they're wanting a treble basically, win all the domestic stuff and get quite deep in the Europa League. Now that is possible. I've done that in the beta save, but again the beta looked like the players were a bit better, so we're going to go through all that today, kind of tie it in with a squad review and develop Scotland's best youth system. That's fine, we can work on that, and that's a long term goal. So first thing we're going to do, and I'll go through this in the tactic video again, is have a look at our squad. What's kind of going on here? So let's go with reports, because we want to have a look at everyone. So as I say, Tavernier instantly wanted by Leeds and Wolves, Barisic wanted by just about everyone, Jack wanted by Leeds, Goldson wanted by several clubs, Greg Stewart wanted by Preston, and Alfredo Morelos wanted by everyone and our grandmother. So we've got obviously McGregor and McLaughlin, the goalkeepers, fairly solid. We've got Katic, who's injured for about a year, so he's out for the season straight away. Goldson, Edmondson, Hollander and Balogun as defenders. Let's have a look at some of these guys. Hollander looks solid as always. Goldson, solid as always. Katic, is he still tanking there? Yes, he is. If we can get him back fit next season, he could be like a new signing for us. Obviously always been a very solid player for me. George Edmondson looks decent. Liam Balogun again looks fairly decent, very good in the air again. Balogun slightly quicker than Hollander, but he's obviously 32, so he's aged a bit. Tavernier at 28 in his prime. He doesn't look too different from the beta. I know there was people saying that maybe he should have some tactical changes. I'm surprised to see him natural at wing back right, but we'll have him at right back. Obviously Barisic looks very good, had a bit of a stat buff this year, as sort of kind of expected. It looks outstanding. Croatia's number one international left back at the minute, of course. Got Glenn Kamara there, looks very good. Work rate of 10 is shocking. I think, I'm not Kamara's biggest fan compared to other Rangers fans, but I think he's a little workhorse, I really do. Jack, again, still shown as a box to box, but as I said last year, he's a deep line playmaker all day, every day. He is a deep line playmaker. He will do that role absolutely perfect. And I think he will be in and around the first team. We've obviously got Zungu on loan. I think the buy clause here is about 6 million. Again, box to box Mazelia kind of player. Looks fairly solid. Not the best going forward, but fairly solid defensive sort of option. Steve Davis, 47 weeks he's out for. Again, similar sort of player can play any one of those sort of roles for us. Not the quickest of physicals, kind of going at 35 as you would expect. Joe Aribo, outstanding player, great potential. We need to get this guy in the team, and I'll be thinking in this kind of role here. But again, looks outstanding. So then we're on Scott Arfield. Again, looks pretty good. Instantly I'm seeing here now, I obviously know the Rangers team, and because I played the beta I kind of know how it works. We've only got one right back and one left back. That is not a concern. I'll sort that in a minute. We go to Ryan Kent. Kent looks very, very good and will get better. Believe me, he will get better. 11 million value. Jordan Jones, steady. 2 million value, solid. How much is Edmondson worth? Because someone was saying that was set. He's gone up in value actually from the beta. Yanis Hadji, valued at £7.5 million. Just a very, very good player. Can play with both feet. I think I'll be playing him like this just to suit my system. It'll be the same system that I've been using in the second season at Barcelona that I'll be using, and I'll explain why again in the tactic tutorial video, because it's based off this team basically. Yanis Hadji, very, very good though. Kamar Roof, very versatile, very good. Valued at 7.5 million or 7.75 million again, so exciting to see him. Greg Stewart, he's actually really quite technically gifted here. Greg Stewart, he's very technical, very good with the mentals. Physicals are a problem. Those physicals are absolutely woeful. And then you've got Alfredo, of course. looks similar to the beta, and if he can perform like he did for me on the beta, we're in for a good season. Hopefully he can kick on and do really, really well, valued at 13.25 million. And then Cedric N, who is valued at 4 million. I struggled with him in the beta, to be honest, but again, looks a decent player. It's maybe the role that I play. You know, any series that I've watched, I always play an advanced forward attack, and realistically he's not an advanced forward, really, is he? So it could be that it made me need to use him as a sort of plan B kind of player. Is he go? No, he's played there for us in real life, which is kind of surprising. It's not at least awkward. So let's, first of all, let's go to responsibilities and training, and I am going to take over individual and individual, because then that gets us down here. So again, let's go to reports, and we're going to sort by ability. So we've got Ross McCrory, who is unfortunately already committed to a transfer to Aberdeen for us, which is a bit frustrating. Got Robbie. Let's have a look at Robbie now. What's your potential? 3-star, so maybe a replacement. Does have good one-on-ones, which I do like. Decent reflexes, not the best aerial reach, so maybe a bit of work on him. Could see him being a replacement for Alan McGregor. I'm not sure. Let's see how he does on his loan, and then when he comes back we can sort of assess him, I think. I do like him. I do like Robbie. Just a shame he's only 3-star potential. Hopefully my staff are getting that one wrong. Kai Kennedy, 4-star, of course. Now, for me on the beta, he was absolutely outstanding, so I might still give him that run, see how he goes. He could be great. He could be great. Get him right, he could be absolutely phenomenal. Stephen Kelly also out on loan. No, didn't actually look at him in the beta actually, but again looks fairly decent. Could definitely come in and do a job to replace Steve Davis when he retires next season. Jake Hasty, is he any good? Really, 21. Jake Hasty, and not likely to improve. Glenn Middleton, sort of similar, not likely to improve. Calvin Bassett, mentioned a left back, 4-star potential. I'll show you him and then I'll move him up, to be honest. So it looks fairly solid, Calvin Bassett here. You know, all round fairly decent. For a left back, I quite like him, to be honest. So let's get him promoted. Brandon Barker, he's better than Jordan Jones, let's be honest. So again, I'm just going to quickly promote him up, and we can, you know, use him as a rotation option. Who's the other one that I need? There's one that I'm missing. Nathan Patterson. How have I missed him? Nathan Patterson, of course, going to be our rotation for Tav. But as you see, positioning and tackling is actually better than Tavernier. Whether it's crossing, you know, going forward, not quite as good, but it's got time to develop. 4-star potential and natural replacement. We don't need to do anything with our right back situation unless we lose Tavernier and we need to bring someone in. So I think that's us. Richie Holster, of course, looks fairly solid. Unfortunately, again, his stats look like they've changed a lot. I think he needs a lot of work to make it. He does have 5-star potential, so hopefully he can make it. Young Coombs we've seen. Is there anyone else here that I would really highlight? Berjonas, I will promote Berjonas as well actually. He does sort of do okay. But other than that, nobody that really stands out for me, so we'll leave them at that just now. Alex Lowry, of course, played for us a lot last year in FM, our save. 3-star potential is a bit disappointing for him, unfortunately. Is there anyone else really high potential that we've missed? Richie Holster, James Maxwell, of course, another left back option, not quite as good as the other two, Bassett and Barisic going forward, but still solid. You know, with the right bit of training and tutoring and stuff, he could really become something pretty special, so hopefully he can. Anyone else? Josh McPake, how's he looking? Solid again, we could make him work. Again, a bit of work with him. And this lad here, another goalkeeper, looks fairly decent. Under 18s, let's have a look at them. So straight away, ability wise, Elway, decent. We looked at him. Leon King, I want to get him under a full-time contract as soon as possible, and I'll probably put him up to the first team as well actually, just for tutoring reasons. And again, I'll go through that. I'll probably do a mentoring tutorial as well actually, based off this save, to explain what I do with mentoring, which was really successful for me in the beta. I should say. But again, 5-star potential on him. He's tipped for big things. Tony Weston, I've heard good things about him in the FM Rangers group. So again, looks pretty decent. Again, needs quite a bit of work. Again, maybe just get him into the first team, get him some, in fact, 20 determination, good work rate. I might leave him, you know, promote him up to the reserves or something. So that's, and then by potential, we've got King, Ubu, Weston, Graham. Could use certainly a lot of work on finishing and composure. Semple needs a lot of work, to be honest, to get into my system. Kyle Semple could be a good defensive fullback, but needs a lot of work. And then Kelsey Ewan, again, looks fairly decent. A bit of work with him. Unfortunately, maybe not the best personality and stuff, but it could work. Jay Hogarth again, looking fairly solid. 3.5 stars, so actually better potential than McCrory. So again, get him onto a full-time contract. So I'm going to go through all of this and kind of go through it. But I just wanted to show you guys that transfer-wise, if we've got any deals. So we've got Finlayson away, McCrory away, Murphy away. That's fine, all good. So I'm going to end this episode here, guys. If you've enjoyed, please do hit the subscribe button. Hit like as well. Leave a comment down below with what you think of the team. I wanted to just get through this episode just now. I think this will release probably about 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, and then I'll record, you know, the next couple of episodes. They'll release at 6 o'clock, and the Barcelona save will finish at 10 o'clock until that's finished. So we will be running the 2 series in the meantime. But thanks so much, guys, for tuning into this episode. Please do enjoy it, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time for our first game in charge of Rangers.